Hi there, welcome to the Delatronics Workbench. Very messy. I have stuff all over the place here. Look, there's a head block for Ferrograph 7, also VU meters, and I've got a 7 open right now that I'm working on. If you can hear that tapping noise, I've got a problem with one of the idlers on 7.5 inches per second. It seems to be bumping up and down, so there's obviously something on the idler. Yeah, this one, when it came in, all the lettering had rubbed off, so I've had to stick it on here, but I mean, it does the job. The rest of the lettering on here is fine. I'm just sort of getting around to completely servicing this. I've still got the counter to sort out because sometimes it stops, sometimes it works fine, so I need to sort that out. And apart from that, it's running really well and sounding fantastically. It's all been set up and adjusted. As you can see, I've got my own one down here which is in need of work. I've got one I'm using for spares here, which was a BBC unit, but it was too far-fetched to actually repair, so I'm cannibalising bits off that to get these ones going. But these Ferrographs are, quite frankly, the best machines you can hope to buy, really. They're so much better than the Akai recorders, all of them. Also, they're a lot better than Revox as well. They've all been designed with modules, so the Revox is you can pull the cards out, slot them in modularly in modules. This is the same sort of thing. You can't, these aren't slot in and slot out cards, because actually that's not a very good contact if you do that. These are, I've got a few solder joints there, but this, for example, you're looking at, I believe that's the playback board, and you've got one on the other side as well. So it's all laid out very well. But if you look at the back of this one here, you can see the fan on the back there. There's a big capacitor down there, not the blue one, the Hunt's one. That is for the motor start circuitry. You've got the oscillator board there. They're really well made anyway. And this one is just even some TLC. I will be putting this on eBay once it's completely done. I want to buy a lot more Ferrographs in because I just think they're superb, they're excellent. I've already mentioned to you about this fast wind facility here, where you can control the speed of the wind and get a fantastic pancake. If you see that, it's really nicely laid out in there. The other thing I mentioned is the bias. You can set the meters to read bias on the actual tape as you're recording it, and adjust the bias for each channel with this B mark there, and the A is the playback level. They're really well thought out, really good. Equalization control is there. One of the common mistakes with these is the equalization control has to be set to the speed, and this one is a high speed model. It has 15 IPS, so you have to set the equalization to high, and it has 7.5, you have to set it to medium, and 3 3/4 you have to set it to low. If you don't do that, then this reset light will come on and you won't be able to do anything with it. So it's like a safety feature. You have to remember to lock the transport, to release the lock on the transport, because when you put it to fast and stop, that's okay, but if you want to go to pause and run, you have to release the lock on the transport. The lock's there for a reason, so you can't just go from run to fast forward and back again, because that will muck the transport up. Obviously you have the heads there, pinch roller, and this are felt. These are felt pads which go onto the actual heads. There you go. You can select the upper and lower retracts with this knob here. This obviously moves either way. All these knobs, by the way, they're solid aluminium. They're really well engineered. I mean, it's a real quality piece of kit. This wouldn't have been cheap back in the day. These are for sort of amateur stroke professionals, and they used this particular model in submarines, in hospitals, in BBC. They use an awful lot. This is a BBC machine here, as you see the BBC logo, and it's pretty knackered, this one, really. But you see they took the flap out entirely, and also this lower flap they removed entirely off this machine, because the BBC just wanted something simple. They didn't want anything in the way, sort of thing. Here, this here is actually a sensor. So when this goes to ground, then basically the tape will stop. So it's a stop sensor. And what you would do, you would put, let's see, you put one of these foil strips on the tape where you wanted it to stop, and when it came round to these 2 points here, and it shorted between this point here and this point here, the tape would stop. And it's extremely effective and extremely quick. It stops immediately. Really well made. I've never seen anything quite like it. I'm in awe of these Ferrograph decks, actually, and I'm going to buy a lot more in, because they're just great. I'm just going to promote them because they're so good. And I think one day people who are buying tape recorders are going to wake up to these, and the price is going to shoot sky high, because obviously Ferrograph being defunct now and gone, you know, they're going to be hard to get hold of. But at the moment you can still get hold of them for silly money. I mean, there's a couple on eBay just gone. One went for £170, another one went for I think it was 240, and that's cheap. That is really cheap. I've got them even cheaper than that by looking around, but that is extremely cheap price for what you're getting. I mean, look at the amount of boards in here. There's one there, there's one behind it on either side. It's amazing, amazing. And this control here for the speed, it's actually, can you see that? It's a variac. That is actually a variac. It's not a pot, it's a variac. It's just superb, superb. Sorry to go on about it, but I've never really seen such a good quality machine go so cheap. It's a crime. But yeah, there's the ballast resistor there. So yeah, I'm really getting into these now, and they're really good. They keep on going and going. Really, really good. I mean, the reason why they lost their reputation is because of these things. Pinch wheels, they turn to goo, and also the idler wheels, which is one of the idler wheels there is thumping around. I think probably I don't know what it is, maybe a piece of old rubber melted on there in the past, because these are new idler wheels, but maybe there's a bit on the stepper motor that I didn't see. Anyway, I've recorded a tape on this at 7.5 inches per second. It will go up to 15, but 7.5 gives really good results. I recorded a 70s tape, so anyway, this is yeah. luckily that was, when it sensed a short circuit between there and there, it stopped immediately and the reset light came on. So it's absolutely instant, brilliant. Starts up instantly as well. Normally this has been on for hours and hours now, but yeah, it still needs a little bit of tweaking, but these are so good, it's just not true. But this here, if you notice on top, this is actually an MP, it's not MP3, it's actually a receiver. And what I do is I stream stuff from YouTube. It goes straight into the inputs in stereo here. Now this is a really good quality one. This is like I forget what the spec is, but it's really high quality one. So that music that you heard was streamed from YouTube, and I basically stream everything from YouTube or places, and I can record directly to this. So you know, it's great. You can make a compilation tape out of stuff that you never had. I've got a lot of 70s hits on here as well. I've got Yellow River, that's a good one that I remember from my childhood, and She Flies Like a Bird, that Nimble advert. I think it's the Honey something. I've got the Arches, Honey, sorry, Sugar. I've got a lot of old things here from the 70s that I remember, and this is a fitting machine because this is a 70s machine, but it sounds so good with even with modern music. It sounds superb. It's got that tape sound, definitely. So anyway, this one will be appearing on eBay at some point once it's fully restored. The only thing I can't really restore is this lettering. I have tried Letraset on that, but it just doesn't take to this aluminium panel. It's not plastic, this is aluminium, and it doesn't take to it, and I haven't managed to find any way of doing it. I've got some water transfers. I tried to use them, but it was just a nightmare. So you know, because I'm probably going to be selling this probably for not that much money, you know, it would just be a nightmare for me to do that on top of getting it completely restored as well, which I'm currently doing. So yeah, great. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for subscribing to me, and thank you for watching.